So why did you want to study journalism?
It's something I wanted to do as a teenager, but I wasn't that very well behaved at school, and so I kind of skipped university first time round and ended up doing another job for about 13 years. But I realised when I wanted to change that I wanted to go back to Plan A, which was journalism, and I had a particular interest in the Middle East anyway, because my father had worked there for many years, so that's the reason I came to City.
And can you tell us about your experience of being, of working and living as a foreign woman in Yemen?
As a foreign woman, it is fairly unique in Yemen. Foreign women and Western women are something of a novelty. You do get stared at a lot. You get stopped in the street. People want to talk to you a lot, and people get to recognise you and that you're living there and all the rest of it quite quickly because you are something of a novelty. I don't think it's particularly inhibitive. I don't have to cover my head working there. People have very sort of backward maybe views of that it's very similar to Saudi Arabia, and in fact it's not nearly as restrictive. Women can drive there. As I say, I don't have to cover myself, well, my head anyway. Yes, I have to wear conservative sort of clothing, but in that respect it's not difficult. I haven't felt restricted from being a woman, and in fact I found it very interesting actually being able to spend time with Yemeni women on their own, which men don't get to do, and see another sort of side to their life which men are restricted from seeing. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
And what advice would you give to any person who wants to go and work as a journalist in an Arab country?
Be brave and be bold, and don't believe everything you read in the newspapers. I know that's slightly ironic, but the main reason why there aren't a lot of journalists in Yemen, I suspect, is because of the fear of security. When realistically, touch wood, it's not really a problem on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, if that's your interest, then just do it. You've got nothing to lose by trying. If you go and try it for 3 months, there's not enough work, or you don't like it, you can come home. What have you lost? You've lost the price of a flight, and that's probably it. So yeah, it's something worth trying.
And what difference is there in the type of stories that are covered in Yemeni papers and, for example, papers in the United Kingdom?
Oh, it's huge. As you probably know yourself, most of the Yemen-related stories in the Western press is all about terrorism and Al-Qaeda. To a Yemeni person on the street, Al-Qaeda and terrorism has very little impact, if any, on their lives. Local stories are, in the local press, are local politics, tax, health issues, government and politics, but also we have a lot of cultural subjects, for example, underage marriage, and so yes, it's much more stories that affect local people, which, as I say, Al-Qaeda is so unimportant to most Yemenis and affects none of their lives. You will very rarely read about it in the local newspapers.
And just one more question, what do you think makes a story really, really great, really catchy, something that will get readers' attention?
Unfortunately, these days it's the exclusive aspect. It's having something that no other newspaper has got, and that's what editors want. It's got to be something that's new and that's interesting. As you just pointed, well, as I've just said, most of the Western, certainly UK newspapers want Al-Qaeda related stuff. But the daily newspapers particularly want exclusive stuff. So it's therefore building up your contacts, working closely with them to get news that other people might not have. Sometimes it's the quirky stuff. Sometimes it's like, I don't know, in Yemen when I first turned up there was a mass wedding of 3,000 brides and grooms. Sometimes it's the weird things like that will obviously be picked up and people use. But normally, certainly for daily news, it's the exclusive aspect of it and having something that nobody else has got, and that's the hard stuff.
Thank you so much.